We begin your Monday morning with breaking news headlines at this hour. According to our content partners over at Fox News, the Iranian president, the country's foreign minister, and others have been found dead at the site of a helicopter crash after an hours-long search through a foggy mountainous region of the country's northwest. State media confirming. On your screen right now, this is video of that hours-long search, and you can see how hilly and foggy this area was. The Iranian president, 63 years old. Now, state TV is still working with their investigation, not giving any immediate cause for the crash in Iran's East Azerbaijan province. Joining us live this morning to further break down this breaking news headline, Ken Gray, the national security expert with the University of New Haven. Good morning to you, Ken. Always a pleasure having you.
Good morning, Janae. Glad to be with you again.
So this time yesterday when we were speaking, we knew there was a search going on, and state media being very particular not to report the Iranian president was dead. They still were holding on to hope, you could say, saying that he was just missing. But learning in the early hours of this morning, the Iranian president, the foreign minister, and other head of state officials have been confirmed dead. If you could catch us up, why were they even in this helicopter? Where were they headed? And why is this so prominent for the Middle East area?
So the president of Iran, the foreign minister, and others were present at a dedication to a new dam that had been constructed, meeting with the leader of Azerbaijan and dedicating that new dam. Now, after the dam had been, official opening of that dam had been conducted, the president of Iran was then en route to Tabriz. Very cloudy day, and this is a very, very mountainous region. And so while en route, the helicopter was said to have made a hard landing. The hard landing on a mountainside inside of foggy conditions is the recipe for a disaster, and that appears to be what happened. The helicopter apparently hit the side of the mountain, and it killed all the occupants of the helicopter. This has been confirmed through drone footage, but they have not recovered any bodies as of yet. At least my understanding is that they have not been able to get to it to recover the bodies. So this is very much a very difficult environment to be in. Iran is a series of different mountain ranges, and this is one such mountain range that the helicopter went into. This is going to set off an entire scramble for positions. The Constitution of Iran calls for the replacement within 50 days. They can either hold another election, or the supreme leader can form a council and select somebody to be the next president. I think the latter is probably the route they will take, that the supreme leader will name a few high members of the Iranian government as his council, and they will in turn nominate someone for the supreme leader to designate as their new president. But certainly this is placing the entire region into a questionable status, in that right now they don't have a president, and now they're going to have to find one.
Absolutely, and critical status is a nice way to put it. I put the footage on the screen of the conditions yesterday just to paint that broad picture as you were explaining it, Ken. And you know, I know state media reporting these foggy conditions, but as we know, that's not good enough. Sometimes they're going to look for someone to blame. This morning, as I was doing my research, seeing that the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, has come forward saying he's upset about this death. Even Hezbollah, the terroristic organization, coming forward saying they are upset about this death. In the coming days, as we know, there could be retaliation for this. What could we potentially see, as we know this is not a one-and-done situation?
Sure. So the cast of potential suspects in this conspiracy would include the United States, Israel, of course, But there are other factions in the area that have had battles with Iran that could also be suspect as having somehow been involved in this. Then there is also the possibility of internal struggles. That is, the president of Iran could be being held responsible for the lackluster response to the Israel assassination of one of their members. And so the fact that their missile attack on Israel was pretty much a failure. The President Reza could have been held responsible for that. And so the replacement of him could have been from an internal decision made. But those are all conspiracy theories. The problem is that this is a very remote area. There are no roads leading immediately to this because it is on a mountainside. So they will have to get to the crashed helicopter and then do an investigation of what may have caused the crash of the helicopter. But the most likely suspect is that this was an older helicopter with limited parts available that was flying in bad weather and very foggy weather over a mountainous area. And if you have any type of problem, then you have to put the helicopter down, and that's very difficult in fog and in mountainous region. And so you don't have to have this to be a hostile act to cause this helicopter to crash. Helicopters crash all the time.
As we look at this further, when we discuss national security, international relations, even conflict in the Middle East, could you see this trickling over here to the U.S.? And I'm asking you that because of what we've seen with these Gaza war protests at U.S. college campuses and universities, where you've seen some even, for lack of better words, supporting what Hamas is doing in the Middle East.
So our borders are very, very porous. We have people unknown to us coming across the southwest border all the time. It very well could be that there were either Hezbollah members that come into the United States, or perhaps even members of the Iranian intelligence come into the United States and be sitting here waiting to carry out orders once they receive it. That's always a possibility. As far as connection to the protests on college campuses, I don't see that as really being a factor. The college campus protests certainly is making a lot of noise to be helpful to the pro-Palestinian cause. But as far as its direct connection over to Iran, that is yet to be seen.
Ken Gray, always a pleasure speaking with you here on Live Now from Fox. Your expertise and perspective definitely not taken for granted. Many on the edge of their seats this morning as this news has been confirmed. The Iranian president, the foreign minister, and other heads of state officials confirmed dead as that chopper did go down. Is there anything we need to be keeping a close eye on? Anything else you'd like to add before we let you go?
If we see the election not be carried out there, but instead an appointment, I would look at two individuals, a guy by the name of Mohammed Mohammed Bagher Galibaf, who is a former IRGC general and was a former mayor of Tehran. He very well could be the next president, or even the Ayatollah's son, Moshtaba, who is his assistant. He is a cleric, so he could become both the president, and then because he's a cleric, he could eventually replace his father. So those are two possible horses in the race for president.
Great points you're making there. And before I let you go, actually brings up another thought. You know, when you see that others are in the ranks to potentially take a spot, it also turns an eye to them, seeing if maybe this was done on purpose or something like that so that they could get that position quicker. We have seen that play out time and time again.
Absolutely. And so you just have to, you never know what is a real story going on here. We may never know what the real story is. The Iranians have got to do an investigation of this, but because of the crash site being so remote like it is, they may not be capable of determining exactly what went wrong.
This is definitely a developing situation, and I know you'll be here with us every step of the way, giving us that perspective and expertise. Ken Gray, always a pleasure speaking with you here on Live Now from Fox. Thank you for joining us for this breaking news situation. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.